Bitcoin hoodie guy coming back with another KASPA video. Could we go ahead and Mike Tyson the like and subscribe button? All right, I appreciate that there. So let's get into it. So please buy 1,367 KASPA. Why am I coming up with that number? Well, I'm taking a page out of Da Vinci Jeremy's playbook back on May 9, 2013, his most famous video. Just buy $1 worth of Bitcoin, please. But I'm not saying $1, which at that time Bitcoin was around $100. So this video is saying by 1%. Instead, I wanted to compare Bitcoin. So you can look that basically if you have one Bitcoin, that's 1/121 millionth of the max supply. So to have that same ratio, to have 21 millionth of a supply of KASPA, then you're looking at the max supply. You're looking at 1,366, rounded up to 1,367. So on May 19th, to buy one Bitcoin back then, you're looking like 115 bucks. And Bitcoin had $1.32 billion market cap. KASPA, if you bought 1,367, roughly $246, a little bit cheaper since the price is below 18 cents. That's off an 18-cent cost basis. And that's a $4.2 billion market cap right now. And you can see the market cap back then of Bitcoin, May of 2013, it was 1.3 billion roughly. So hash rate's looking good. So why buy that? Well, you can see that like right here, 2 hours ago, CoinDesk had a little video. I'm not going to play it. Maybe you saw it on X. It was a chart of the day. It's up 26% in the week. Obviously, the Marathon Digital News. But so why buy digital assets? Why do I believe in digital assets? And why do I think that KASPA is a good idea? This is not financial advice. $240 for most people, at least Western people. I think most of my viewers could probably come up with 240 bucks. Now, most people watching this video already have a bunch of KASPA, so that's not a large amount. But you can see the national debt, closing in on 35 trillion. Getting to the point where they're going to start spending more on interest than the national defense. And you jump in the time machine, and in 4 years, they're projecting that it'll be 3.8 trillion interest on the debt, 1.4 trillion on defense. And so you look at the world debt clock. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but you can see there's just debt. These guys are going to be printing. These guys are going to be printing fiat. Now, most of the money right now is in Bitcoin, which is the first and largest crypto, and it's proof of work. So a lot of the big money like decentralized proof of work, and that's where KASPA is chugging up the ladder. And you got KRC20s coming out, and you got a good team: Yonatan Saplinsky, Aviv, Shai Warboski, Michael Sutton, some of the main players there. Huge community building up a decentralized proof of work. And you can go over to the testnet 11 and see what's happening there with 10 blocks a second. Also, like if you go to Bitcoin University's video today, he's trashing Marathon Digital because they are putting a little bit of their computing power over toward KASPA. Obviously, when you have your old bag into something, then you become biased. And so he's kind of hypocritical there too, because he was saying with Marathon is that, oh, they're OFAC compliant, censoring transactions. But then he doesn't like the fact that they're doing inscriptions, ordinal inscriptions. See, he's a hypocrite because he doesn't want any Bitcoin transactions censored and being OFAC compliant unless it has to do with what he considers spam, which, he's not the judge and ruler of the Bitcoin blockchain, but he considers inscription spam. Maybe some people in KASPA are going to think that about KRC20, but meme coins are part of the game. People like, NFTs, and there's more use cases than that. And this is not the start. Like Shai said, the KRC20s are just the start. It's not some solution. It's not the final chapter. Plus, you got Yonatan Saplinsky working on, his idea for native smart contracts. And I have never heard any details. You got Michael Saylor. So what would happen? And I've seen a couple people's on X, a couple Bitcoin maxis or even miners. Some are just saying that they would never even mine KASPA. And you got like Freddy Krueger, that mathematician guy, trashing KASPA. But what happens? Like, who knows why Michael Saylor happened to tweet the color scheme of this right before? But what happens if a few big Bitcoin players, they're most likely worried about national debt. They're worried about the worldwide debt. They know that the fiat currency is getting printed like crazy all over the world, not just the US, China, Japan, the euro. And if they like proof of work, what's the next best option? Because when you go down that ladder, Dogecoin's been out a long time, whatever. Meme coin started as a joke, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic. So there's all this stuff that's been out a long time. Caspa is a new one and it's doing something different because it's got this block tag. And also, I know that that could help because you have all these blocks happening. And if it ever got up to, once it ramps up to 10 blocks a second or 100 blocks a second, then uh, then a lot of people are going to be looking at that. Also, it's going to make it so that you don't have to worry about a miner having to pay the highest fee possible. There's going to be so many blocks created that you can get your transaction through quickly without having to pay a crazy fee. Obviously, more demand on the network should have some slightly. All right, Drew, thanks for tuning in. So to 10 blocks per second, maybe 100 blocks per second in the future. First you got to get to 10 blocks a second. But those are reasons why I think that you circle back around and you got the 1,367 is basically, one Bitcoin is a certain percentage of any Bitcoin that'll ever exist. And that same percentage of Caspa would be 1,367. And that's $246. So it's a pretty low risk in my opinion, because I think Caspa, even, if you were just going to go for this cycle, it's got a great chart and there's so many catalysts on the way. Overall crypto market going up. Caspa's got KRC20, you have tier one exchange listings. Who knows what's going to happen? You have some big players now. Marathon Digital is a big player. They have big shareholders like BlackRock and Vanguard. CoinDesk, it's a lot more news, a lot more bigger names in the crypto industry are starting to talk about it. And at this point, Caspa is already ranked 24, so it's already up pretty high. So I do like making spreadsheets, looking at crunching some of the numbers, and it's not quite the same as buying one Bitcoin in 2013 because that same percentage, but it's not that far off. The market cap is higher and it's a little bit more expensive. But in terms of that, it's pretty affordable for the average person to buy that. And so I figured if I made a video like this, like Da Vinci Jeremy, when Caspa blows up, then I'll have this video to come back to, and then I'll look like a legend. And so that's what this is about. And, it's a reality that there's a lot of people worried about inflation and the fiat currency going up. And if you want to go proof of work, now, hey, I'm not a maximalist and saying you should just buy one project. And we don't really know the future of anything, but there's a lot of people that prefer proof of work, and there's only so many projects there to choose from. And after Bitcoin, Caspa is emerging as the next best option. And where is it going to end up on this cycle? Who knows? But it still feels like it has a long ways to go up for number 24. And so let's just see what some people are saying. Oh, that's Rich777. Thanks for tuning in. You're welcome. Cass is just the true definition of bullishness. Brilliant show. Thank you, Wakanda. Cass been up. The more Caspa pumps, the less I want to sell this bull run and just wait to retire in 2029. Caspa God, just wait till the exchange listings. That's going to be huge. 2029 too far. 2024 sounds better. Do the video. Do it. You'll be a living legend if you don't do the video. I will. Why? Why that small amount, Caspa will make you rich? Because that is buying the same percentage of the blockchain as one Bitcoin. So a lot of people believe one Bitcoin will make you rich. Now, we don't know the future, but if Caspa works out to how some people thinks it could long term, we're not talking just this cycle, we're looking long term, you're buying the same percentage of the max supply. 1,367 is like buying one Bitcoin. It's same percentage right there. And you can get that for $246 roughly is the thesis behind that. We need skits. I agree, Caspa God. I need to bring those back. Good evening. Yeah, I need to bring back the skits. That's for sure. $10 in 2025. Possible, I mean, that would put it up to me. I was kind of thinking $2 to $3. It feels like with Marathon Digital coming into the space, it feels like but I think $10 is possible. Um, Satoshi is behind the project. A lot of people do think Jonathan could be Satoshi. But $5, $5 to $10 is on the table. That $10 would put us about what, 250, 260 billion. And I made a video yesterday. If it got up to 4%, $10 trillion market cap, 4% market share, or I know actually that'd put us at $16. So we don't even need to do that. Um, let's see if I have that. Oh, I don't have that spreadsheet up, but yeah. So it only really needs to get to $10 at a 10 billion. Yeah, it won't even have. It doesn't even get. It only needs to get up. If it did get up to $10 trillion market cap, total market cap for crypto, it only need to get to like 2.5% market dominance. So that's definitely on the table. He just gained a sub, dude. This channel's top tier. Thanks. That's Rich Rich. Appreciate it. $2 to $3 laughing my ass off, even with KRC 20s. No one truly knows. That's a long ways up, and we don't know the true ramifications, but I'm not saying it can't go higher. I can see 4 or 5 for sure. The more and there's tier one exchange listings, KRC 20, Marathon Digital. I think Marathon Digital entering the chat is big, and maybe that's bigger than KRC 20. But no one knows how the future is going to shake out, how high the whole crypto market cap is going to go up. But yeah, I mean, $5 to $10 wouldn't surprise me. The higher that market cap gets, $10, you're going to need almost everything to go right. And I don't know when 10 blocks per second will come. If that's next year, who knows? I mean, it doesn't feel like it's going to happen this year. We're coming into where there's only 6 months left in this year, but there's a lot of catalysts. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think that anything between two to $10 is on the table. And I think that $2 to $3 is pretty realistic. And the more things that go right, things we don't even know that will go right, then I think that that's possible that that happens. So I think $2 to $3 is kind of realistic lower threshold, and anything above that is possible. Plus, isn't this a super cycle? We don't know if it's a super cycle or not. People thought last time was a super cycle. So yeah, if it hits $10 trillion, I think $10 is, if the overall crypto market cap hits 10 trillion, I think $10 is really on the table. Then I think that if we only hit like 6 or 7, then that $2 to $5 is on range. But it just really depends on 10 blocks per second, the narratives. Right now, it seems like more people, like CoinDesk, people like that now, because Marathon Digital, because you can look, Pepe's in the top 25. Pepe's right above KASPA, and Pepe is just a meme coin, does nothing except make people smile, I guess. But I think that this could be a super cycle, but I don't know if it's going to be a super cycle. That's just guesswork. No one truly knows. To me, it feels like Bitcoin's got a shot to get between 150 or $200,000, whether that's a super cycle or not, or the cycle spills into 2026. We don't know. But most likely there'll be a top next year. And I don't know, it seems like the overall market cap will be between 6 and 10 trillion, which is a big range. And depending on what narratives swing Caspa's way, how KRC 20, stable coins, how all that interacts. Because I guess you could have a stable coin being a partially signed Caspa transaction, because that's all KRC 20s are going to be. They're going to be different than the coins on Ethereum. They're going to be more like the Bitcoin runes or BRC 20s. And so they're going to be partially signed Caspa transactions. I don't know how that affects stable coins. Plus, Coinbase just had a partnership with Stripe, and they're putting a lot of money in base chain and USDC. So I don't know how quickly they would jump ship over to Caspa, but if it makes sense, people will do it. Pepe is the new Shiba Inu. I heard the overall market cap is 10 to 15 trillion. Well, we'll find out. I mean, there's people saying everything. I could see 10 trillion, 15 trillion. Bitcoin would what, maybe 300,000? That's on the table, but Um, Super cycle, a lot of stuff. Everyone was calling for $100,000 Bitcoin last cycle, and that never happened. We didn't even get to 70,000. So the future is unknown. But really, the theme of this video is that long-term play on KASPA, buying 1,367. KASPA is similar to buying one Bitcoin in terms of owning that percentage of the max supply. And for $246, that's a no-brainer. Now, pretty much everyone watching this video has probably way more Caspa than that. So you're not the person, but maybe down the road someone will see Caspa, see this video, who knows? And there's going to be more people finding out about Caspa for the first time or going down the Caspa rabbit hole. There's new people that don't really pay attention to much, but maybe they follow CoinDesk on X, and now they're seeing them post this video about the Caspa chart, the chart of the day here. Join, this is back when it was 18.25 cents. It pulled back a little bit, but they're just showing the chart there, and that's going to get a lot of people excited, especially since, yeah, it's at 18 cents right now, but it's not like you're buying the very top, and it's even pulled back. It's down from the all-time high, and there's so many catalysts in the bull market ahead. So, yep, elections will probably LB crypto 150 to 250 by the end of 2024. Elections will pump the market. It's going to be interesting to see how the election cycle plays out. I know a lot of people are hoping Trump wins, and that will pump things up. Here's another thing talking about the federal deficits. You can see that it went up a little bit. This is Obama years. It started to go down in Obama years, and then it went up in Trump years a little bit. From Obama, it like worked its way down and then started working its way back up to $1 trillion deficit. And then obviously during COVID, 3 trillion, two over 2 trillion, but it hasn't came back down under a trillion. And so some people think it doesn't matter who's president, they're going to keep running a deficit. But that is what a lot of people are going to be driven into digital assets, and they're going to be looking at Bitcoin, other things. Some people are looking at proof of work, and then there you're going to have Caspa there. So that's my thesis. If Caspa Goku If Caspa hits $2 this year, $5 to $10 plus by bull run end of late 2025, I could see that happening. Yep, so basically we'll do a little over a 10x if we can get to $2 this year, and if there's a tier 1 exchange listing, and the way these KRC20s going, plus if there's any more news about anyone bigger, like what would happen if Michael Saylor just talked about putting, he's a Bitcoin, and see, like, I don't know, he's like the biggest Bitcoin max he could find. But if he started talking, but he seems like he's bigger proof of work maxi. So if he just talked about putting a little slice into it, and you start getting a bunch of Bitcoin guys talking about a little slice, there's a lot of liquidity there that could flow in. So I don't know the future, but I think that that's a small amount of Caspa. Some people, it would, maybe if you're depending on what country, maybe that's a lot of money. If you're in the West, Europe, United States, that's probably not a lot of money. And if you're watching this video right now, today, live, then you probably have way more than this. So it's going to be interesting to see how this checks out. Election cycle and rate cuts. Yep, we need some rate cuts, just like ADA. Yep. So we'll see how this works. I think that yeah, I could see $5 to $10. It really, we don't know how the KRC20 and everything shakes out. It's all looking bullish, and we don't know, once, like, say 10 blocks per second happens at some point next year, maybe early next year, mid next year. I know there's a lot more technical stuff until that happens. That really might push Casper over the top. So there's a lot of catalysts right now. And then if you're looking at holding long-term past this cycle and beyond, a small amount of Caspa is going to go a long ways, because if it got up to $10, then that'd be 1,366 would be 10,000 or $13,000. So that, from going from $246 to 13,000, almost $13,700. So That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Oh, one more comment here. They know KASPA is special. Exchanges and market makers are waiting for a healthy market to list KASPA. So we just got to be patient. It feels like there's a storm brewing, and KASPA is going to be at the center of the tornado. And there's a lot of people that are going to be talking about it. Coin Bureau, Cryptos R Us, and all the big names will be talking about it. And it's just a matter of time. So let's excited. We got the KRC 20s on Sunday. I'll be doing live stream buying some KRC 20 tokens. So let's get it. Thanks for watching. Stay bullish and have a good day.